Imagine you are handed a key to a brand new nation. No money, no infrastructure, nothing. Just a dream and an ambition to make it filthy rich and prosperous. Sound like a fantasy, right? No, it's a formula. Countries like the USA, Singapore, Norway, etc. cracked a 12-step code to go from zero to hero. Whether you are an entrepreneur, student, or even a professional, this blueprint isn't just for nations. It's for building your empire. They are backed by real-world examples and case studies per step and offers a systematic approach to building a wealthy nation. Buckle up, jaw-dropping information and stories that will keep you hooked. Step 1. Establish safety by eliminating crime. A nation's first priority is ensuring its people feel secure. Your nation is a ghost town if people fear for their lives. Crime kills businesses and hope, discourages investment and tourism. Crime traps community in poverty. A nation's first priority should be ensuring its people feel secure. Without safety, economic growth is impossible. In 2022, El Salvador was notorious as the world's murder capital, with gang violence driving millions to flee. President Nayib Bukele's aggressive crackdown arrested over 1,900 gang members by 2024, reducing the homicide rate from 38 criminals per 100,000 people in 2019 to only 2.4 in 2023. This safety surge attracted 3.8 million tourists in 2023 alone, jumpstarting their economy. It boosted their GDP growth to 2.7% and making El Salvador a top 5 global tourism growth leader. However, this approach raised human rights concerns due to mass detention. New Zealand was not left behind also. Its low crime rate, ranking 4th on the 2024 Global Peace Index, stemmed from community policing and rehabilitation programs. Its safe environment attracts 3.4 million tourists annually, pulling in billions of dollars from the tourists, and supports a stable $253 billion economy. Low crime fosters trust, enabling businesses to thrive. Safety isn't just nice, it's non-negotiable. Safety is the bedrock of prosperity. Crime increases business costs like security expenses and rest, and scarce investors. For individuals, a secure environment fosters entrepreneurship and innovation. Entrepreneurs, secure your business, protect your asset and team to build trust and growth. Step 2 is eradicate corruption for trust and transparency. Corruption is a silent economic killer, raising cost and eroding trust. Corrupt officials are like termites eating your economy. Transparent government attracts global capital and ensures fair competition. Singapore was a mess in the 1960s. It was riddled with corruption, making business unpredictable, until Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew's anti-corruption squad cleaned the house. This anti-corruption is a zero-tolerance policy, enforced by the Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau, CPIB. Now, it's the third least corrupt nation, with CPI 2024 score of 83 by 100. This transparency drew $141 billion in FDI in 2022, making Singapore a global financial hub. Denmark is not a slouch either, topping corruption rankings but ranking first in the 2024 CPI with score of 90 by 100. It enforces strict anti-corruption laws and public accountability. Its transparent system supports a $406 billion economy and attracts companies like Novo Nordisk with crystal clear rules. Trust in institutions drives economic stability. Trust is your currency. Corruption deters investment by inflating cost and risk. Entrepreneurs' transparency in business dealings build long-term credibility and customer loyalty. Student, be honest in your work. A clear reputation opens doors. Step 3. Build world-class infrastructures, the ones that wows. Efficient infrastructure like roads, railways, ports, energy, and digital networks are the backbone of trade and industry. Without it, goods, people, and ideas can't move. From the 1990s to today, China invested trillions in infrastructure. They went all in, building 183,000 kilometers of highways and 42,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. Its ports, like Shanghai, handles 47 million TEUs annually. This fueled GDP growth from $149 billion in 1978 to $17.8 trillion in 2023, making China a trade titan. Ethiopia isn't left behind also. The Addis Ababa-Djibouti Railway and industrial parks transformed it into Africa's fastest growing economy, with 7.2% GDP growth in 2023. Improved logistics attracted $3.7 billion in FDI in 2022, boosting manufacturing and exports. And that makes it Africa's growth champ. Infrastructure reduces trade costs and boosts productivity. They are your economic highway. Professional, you should upgrade your personal infrastructures, things like tech tools and networks. They accelerate your career growth and your roadmap to success. Step 4. Invest in education and human capital. No resources? No problem. Invest in people. Invest in education and human capital. A skilled workforce drives innovation and competitiveness, and education transforms citizens into problem solvers and economic assets. Post-Korean War, South Korea was poorer than many African nations. Heavy investment in education achieved a 98% literacy rate and a $1.71 trillion GDP by 2023. Companies like Samsung and Hyundai emerged from a highly educated workforce, ranking South Korea among the top 15 countries. Finland's world-class education system, with free schooling and a focus on critical thinking, produces top PISA scores. Its $301 billion economy thrives on tech firms like Nokia and a 99% literacy rate, proving education is economic power. Education fuels innovation and adaptability. Step 5 is turn your resources into rockets. Leverage strategic resources sustainably. Got oil or diamonds? Don't squander them. Leverage strategic resources sustainably. Natural resources can be a springboard for diversification, but mismanagement leads to dependency or collapse. Some of the African nations could be an example of this, including Nigeria. The United Arab Emirates, once a fishing-based economy, struck oil in 1958. Its $99 billion in 2023 oil export funded diversification into tourism and finance, reducing oil dependency and oil's GDP share to 30%, just 30%. Dubai's global hub status and $504 billion GDP reflects strategic resource use. Botswana transformed diamond wealth into infrastructure and education, avoiding resources costs. Its GDP per capita rose from $80 in 1966 to $7,700 in 2023, with stable governance and a diversified economy. Resources must fund long-term growth, not short-term spending, because smart resource use is your launchpad. Entrepreneurs can apply this by reinvesting profit into sustainable ventures to diversify their incomes. Step 6. Roll out the red carpet for cash, attract foreign investments. Stability and fairness draw global capital, failing jobs and innovation. So you want big money? Be accepted. With no natural resources, Switzerland's political stability and banking secrecy attract 135,000 millionaires and a $1.1 trillion in FDI stock. Companies like Nestle and Roche thrive, supporting a $885 billion economy. Thailand's low corporate taxes and stable policies drew tech giants like Apple and Google, with FDI inflows of $1.2 trillion in 2022, its $545 billion GDP, and high-tech exports showcased the power of investor-friendly climate. Stability is your magnet. Have a stable policy all over. A predictable environment attracts capital. Professionals can emulate this by building reliable and reputable personal brand to protect clients and investors. Step 7 is team up globally. Forge strategic global alliances. International partnerships expand markets and reduce risk. Amplify economic power. No nation wins alone. There's a saying that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Find a company. Post-World War II, Germany rebuilt through EU, NATO, and WTO membership, growing its GDP to $4.5 trillion by 2023. Its trade with 27 EU nations and global market drives its export-led economy. Singapore's trade agreement like the CPTPP and RCEP connect it to 60% of global GDP. Its $466 billion economy thrives on open markets, with exports worth $690 billion in 2023. Alliances are your economic superpower. It creates opportunities but require reciprocity. Entrepreneurs benefit from global network and partnerships. Partnership amplify your reach. Step 8 is innovate like crazy for competitive edge. Innovation turns underdog into giants because it creates unique high-value industries that don't rely solely on raw materials. ASML, the only producer of photolithography machines for advanced chips, earned €27.6 billion in 2023. It tech powers global firms like Apple, driving the Netherlands' $1.1 trillion economy. This is a result of pure innovation. Israel's startup nation status with 8,000 startups and $20 billion in tech export stems from R&D investment with 5.6% of GDP. And companies like Wix and Mobile make it a tech powerhouse, create what the world can't live without. Student, think creatively. A unique idea can change your future. Both nations and businesses require innovation and creativity to excel. Step 9 is build a global cultural brand. Cultural influence drives economic and soft power, shaping global trends. Culture is cash. Hollywood's $42 billion industry and Silicon Valley shape how the world lives. South Korea's K-pop and K-dramas, led by groups like BTS alone, are worth $5 billion, and that definitely has some economic impact. And Parasite boosts South Korea's $50 billion cultural export, enhancing its global influence. Hollywood, with an average of $42 billion annually, and Silicon Valley set a global standard, while Wall Street manages trillions. US cultural export influence passion, tech, and business worldwide. Cultural branding creates demand and loyalty. Professionals can build personal brands to amplify influence and inspire sales. Step 10 is distribute wealth equitably. Sustainable wealth distribution prevents inequality and fosters stability. Hoarding wealth builds chaos. Low waste $1.6 trillion sovereign wealth fund built from oil, fund free healthcare and education. With $300,000 tech per citizen, its high HDI of 0.966 breaks stability and happiness. Child Scopper Revenue funds social programs through its Economic and Social Stabilization Fund, reducing poverty from 30% in 2000 to 8% in 2022. Fair and equitable distribution build loyalty and stability. It sustains growth. Business thrive by sharing both profit and credit with employees and economies in a fair way. Entrepreneurs, reward your team. Profit sharing fuels growth. Step 11 is go green or go home. Embrace sustainability for future growth. Green policies attract investment and ensure long-term prosperity. Sustainability isn't just trendy, it's profitable. Denmark's wind energy, that powers 50% of its electricity grid in 2023, serves as catalyst to its $406 billion economy. Ørsted, a global renewables leader, earns $20 billion, attracting eco-conscious investors. Costa Rica's 99% renewable energy, the likes of hydro, wind, and solar, and ecotourism that generates $3 billion annually drives a $78 billion economy, proving sustainability boosts growth. Green is the new gold. Learn green skills. Sustainability is the future of work. It has a competitive advantage. Individuals can adopt green practices to align with market trends. Step 12 is power local entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are your economic ignition because entrepreneurship drives innovation and jobs, fueling economic dynamism. Therefore, empower entrepreneurs to excel. Post 1994's genocide, Rwanda's simplified business regulations, and that alone boosts startups a lot. Its 8% annual GDP growth and $1.1 billion in FDI in 2022 reflect entrepreneurial vibrancy. Estonia's e-residency programs and startup-friendly policies battered unicorns like Skype and Bolt. Its $41 billion economy thrives on digital innovation and entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are economic engines. Power them and watch your nation soar. Individuals can leverage local support to launch ventures. Entrepreneurs, start your hustle. Local support can turn ideas into empires. From El Salvador streets to Estonia tech labs, from barren lands to booming metropolis, these 12 steps show anyone, nations or people, can build wealth from nothing. This 12 steps blueprint has proven that wealth isn't built by coincidence, it's engineered. Safety lays the foundation, education fuels the mind, innovation drives the future, and fair distribution sustains it all. Safety, trust, innovation, and fairness are universal. Every wealthy nation you admire today was once an underdog with nothing but vision, discipline, and relentless execution. And here's the truth, this blueprint isn't locked away for government alone. It belongs to you, entrepreneurs, students, dreamers, and professionals. Because building a wealthy nation starts with building wealthy people. People who value trust, think globally, and innovate boldly, and uplift others. Now, the question is, what will you build? A nation, a company, or a legacy? Remember, every empire began with one person daring to dream. So take these 12 steps, apply them to your life, your business, and your community. And who knows, the next global powerhouse might just be you or your offsprings. Ready to start your journey? Like, comment, and subscribe in order not to miss any of our educational contents. Thank you, and we love you. We love you dearly.